Yes, good morning everyone. So shall we start the session? Any doubts in the previous class? Any doubts anyone? In the last class we have discussed about the characteristics of systems, types, and what are the types of information systems. Now let's move to the next topic, that is system models. So if I define a model, that means a structure, or that means architecture. In simple term, that is a model. So in no fields are model used more widely and with greater variety than in system analysis. So when we use a system analysis, there is a greater demand of the system models that is used for the system analysis, than the design. The analyst as a person being by creating a model of the reality that is taken out its effects, relationship, procedures, and so on. So it's the responsibility of the system analyst to take the system models as fruitful as the user's requirement is demanding. So with which the user is or system is concerned, that is done by the system analyst. And every computer system deals with the real world. So every computer system deals with the real world means it deals with the outside environment, that is a real world, a problem area, or a reality outside itself. For example, when we talk about a telephone switching system, that is made up of the subscribers, telephone handset, dialing, conference calls, and the like. So these are the various telephone switching system that is made up of the subscribers, that is made up of the telephone handsets, dialing, conference, and so on. And that is done by the analyst, that is being by the analyzing or modeling the reality before constructing the functions. And various business system models are used to show the benefits of abstracting complex system to model form. And the major models are semantic, flow, static, and dynamic system models. These are the various models that is used, or these are the types of the system model that is used. One is a semantic, that means semantic means in a sequence way, then flow, static, and the dynamic system models. These are the four types of system models that we are going to study. One is semantic, then flow, static, and the dynamic. Now, when we talk about the schematic model, that is a two-dimensional chart. So when we represent the x-axis and the y-axis with the help of a chart, that is a schematic models. That is a two-dimensional chart depicting system elements and their linkages. Linkages means what are the various system models, what are the various ways by which we can represent the chart that depicts the system elements and their linkage. And different arrows are used to depict the information or to represent the information flow, material flow, and the information feedback. So there are multiple arrows, so there are different arrows that are used to depict or that are used to represent the information flow, material flow, and the information feedback. Various elements of the system are depicted in the boxes. For example, when we talk about the flow charts, there are multiple parts by which we can depict the problems. For example, oval is used for representing the start and the stop value. In the same way, when we use a schematic model, there are multiple representation that is predefined. That means start and the stop is represented by the oval, arrows are represented by the lines, and so on. In the same way, when we talk about the schematic model, that represents the data in a two-dimensional chart that depicts system elements and their linkages. Next part is flow system model. So one is a schematic, next one is a flow model or a flow system model that shows the flow of the material, energy, and information that holds a system together. So when we talk about the flow, that means continue changing of the or continue demanding of the flow, the continue demanding of the energy and the information that holds the system together. And there's an order or flow of the logic that is in order way in such models, and a widely known is known as the part, that is a program evaluation and the review technique. These are the two charts that is used for the flow system model. One is a Gantt chart, one is a flow chart. One is the Gantt chart, one is the PERT chart, that is the program evaluation and the review technique. And it is used to abstract a real-world system in a model form, manipulate the specific values to determine the critical path, what are the various milestones that we are achieved, what are the various critical paths, and interpret the relationship and relay them back as a control. And this part is also used for the completion within the time period, that is a module is completed within the time period or not, that is considered in connection with the time, resources and the performance specifications. This is one of the example of the part. As an example, there are multiple scenarios by which we can represent. This is the 1 milestone, then this is the 4th, 5th and so on. So flow means flow of the material, flow of the energy, flow of the information that holds the system together. Next one is a static. Static means a constant that is represented by the Gantt chart. And this type of model exhibits one pair of relationships such as activity, time, or cost, quantity. That means activity that is taken of the time, or the cost that is the quantity. And this gives a static picture of an activity that is represented by the Gantt chart, that is the time relationship. So when we talk about the planned activities, planned means that is predefined activities, planned activities that is represented with the help of the pictures, with the help of the arrows, with the help of the models, that is known as the planned activity, that are plotted in relation to the time, are shown in as shown given in the figure 1.3. Now let's see what is the figure 1.3. So this represents the data that is used with the system model, that is used with the help of the Gantt charts. Next one is a dynamic system model. That means it is changing according to the requirements, according to the organization. So a dynamic model approximates the type of the organization or the application that analyst deals with. So if the analyst is depending or hiring for one organization or one application, using one application that is represented by the analysis or analyst, that is known as the dynamic system model. So this approximates the type of the organization or the application that the analyst deals with. It depicts an ongoing, constantly changing system. It consists of inputs that enter the system, processor through which the transformation takes place. So one is the input, then processor, then program that is required for the processing, and the output that results from the processing. So one is the input, then program, processors, output. So these are the four parts. These are the four parts of the dynamic system model. First part that is taken out as the input, we are giving the input. Then next one is the processor, that is processing, and after the processing there is the output that is required for the processing. So we have covered with the semantic model, we have covered with the static model, dynamic model, as well as the flow system models. So system models is done. Next topic is the categories of the information. That is, what are the various categories of information by which we can represent the data, that is categories of information. So there are three categories of information by which we can represent the data in the form of the analyst form. So there are three categories of information related to the managerial level and the decision managers make. So that means on the basis of the managerial levels, on the basis of the decision makers or managers make, there are three categories of information. The first level that is represented is the strategic information that relates to the long range planning processes or policies that are of the direct interest to the upper management. That is the first level, that is the strategic information. And information such as population growth, trend in the financial investment, and the human resources changes would be the we can say for the top officials who are responsible for developing the policies and determining the long range goals. And this type of information is achieved with the aid of decision support system, that is the DSS. So first one is a strategic information that deals with the DSS, that is achieved with the aid of the DSS. Second one is the managerial information. So one is at the top level, that is the strategic information. One is for the managers level, it is used for the middle level managers as well as the departmental heads for implementing and controlling. Examples are the sales analysis, cash flow operations, annual financial statement. So these are the few statements, these are the few levels of the information that is used for the middle level management, that is used for the departmental heads. Examples includes the system analysis, cash flow projection, and the annual financial system. And this is of the use in the short and the intermediate range planning, that is months rather than the years. And it is maintained with the aid of the management information system, that is MIS. So one is a DSS, that is a decision support system. One is MIS, that is a management information system. Yes, when you talk about the first level of the information, that is also known as the strategic information, that covered or that is achieved with the help of the DSS. Second level of information is the managerial information, that is covered or that is used with the maintained with the use of MIS, that is a management information system. And the third level of the information is the operational information, that is a short term, that is on the daily basis we are using the information, that is on the daily basis we are getting the information, that is for the short term. Daily information that is used to operate the department and enforce the day-to-day rules and regulation of the business. That is the third information level. Examples are the daily employee absence sheet, overdue purchase orders, and the current stocks available. And this is represented or this is maintained by using the DPS, that is the data processing systems. So one is the DSS, that is for the higher level, middle level, that is the second level, that is MIS, and the last level, that is the third level, that is the DPS, data processing system. And the nature of the information and the managerial level is also related to the major decisions of the types of the decision making, that is either structured or the unstructured decision making. And when we talk about the organization process, that is either closed, stable, or the mechanics that is used to be structured, computational, and relies on the routine decision making. And this is the diagram that shows what are the various management and the information levels in a typical organization. These are the various management level. One is the upper level management, middle level management, and the low level management. One is a management level, one is the information level, one is the system support. So for the management level, there are three parts. One is upper level management. Then for the information level, there is a strategic planning information, then system support, that is a DSS, MIS, and the DPS. Upper means for the management level, upper management level, there is a strategic information that is related to the DSS, or that includes the DSS. Then middle level management, that includes the information for the management control information, that is also known or that is established by using the MIS, that is a management information system. Then next one is the last one is a lower level management, that is the information level is operational information, and this is established by using the DPS, that is the data processing system. So this diagram depicts each and everything, that is for the upper level, strategic, and the DSS. Middle level, there is a management control information and there is MIS. And for the lower level management, there is operational information and there is a DPS, that is the data processing system. Therefore, in designing an information system, the analyst needs to determine the types of the information needed. So what is the type of the information that is required? That is either for the upper level, that is either for the lower level or the middle level. So first one is the informal information system. And next one is a computer-based information systems. So when we talk about the informal information system, that is designed on a personal basis to achieve the company goal. And whenever we are talking about the information or informal information system, that is used to ensure that tends to restrict the communication flow among the employees. As a result, an informal information system developed. It is an employee-based system. That is, it is for the favor of the employees to meet the personal and the vocational needs and to help that solve work-related problems. And in this respect, it is a very useful system because it works within the framework of the business and its stated policies. That is the informal information system. Next one is a computer-based information system. Computer-based means whenever we are dealing with the IT, whenever we are dealing with the computer, that is a computer-based information system that relies on the computer for handling the business applications. So that means we are using the computer, we are using the IT part for handling the business applications. That is known as the computer-based application or the computer-based information system. And the computer is now a required source of information. Why? Because everything is done, everything is followed by using the computer, by using the IT. So computer is now a required source of information that is also known as a computer-based information system. And system analysis also relies heavily on the computers for the problem solving. So when we talk about this diagram, the first one or the first level is upper level management that uses the information level of the strategic that includes the there is also a demand of the computers and at the higher level, that is upper level, middle level as well as the lower level. So that means computer-based information system is required at all the levels. That may be a upper level, that may be a middle level, that may be a lower level. And that means the analysis must be familiar with the computer technology and have experience in handling the people in the organization context. And that information system of the computer-based information system is again divided into three parts. One is MIS, one is a DSS, one is a DPS. MIS means Management Information System, then DSS, that is a Decision Support System, then DPS, that is a Data Processing System. So when we talk about the MIS that have a significant role, or the computer have a significant role on the technique that is used by the management to operate a business. And the level of the manager in the organization is also a factor in determining the kind of information that is needed to solve a problem. So lower level management needs detailed internal information to make day-to-day relatively structured control decisions. And high level management is used for the range objectives that are used for the primary concerns, require the summarized information from a variety of the sources to attain the goals. In either case, we are using the management action that is based on the information that is accurate, relevant, complete, concise, and the timely. And within a MIS, there is a single transaction that can simultaneously update each and every related data files in the system. So when we talk about the MIS, there is only single transaction that can use or that can simultaneously update each and every or all the related data files in the system. And if doing so, or if so doing, data redundancy, that is a duplication and the time it takes to duplicate data are kept to a minimum, therefore ensuring that data are kept current at all the times. That means every data is updated at all the times whenever we are using the MIS. A key element of the MIS in the database, that is a non-redundant collection of interrelated data. That means there is no duplication of the data. There is no duplication among the interrelated data item that can process through application programs and are available to many users. And information is also accessed through a database management system. It is a part of the software that handles every activity involving the physical database. So when I talk about the DBMS, that also includes the physical database. Now, why we are using the DBMS? What are the various advantages of using the DBMS? Now, can anyone tell me what are the various advantages of using the database management system? This is the first topic that we covered in the last module, last module, that is a database management systems. Any advantage of the database of DBMS? So again, come back to the class. So now shall we start the session again? So we have left over with the advantages of database management systems. So what are the various advantages of database systems? First one is processing time and the number of programs written are substantially reduced. That means whatever the number of programs, whatever the processing time, that is reduced to some extent whenever we are using the database management system. And each and every application share the centralized files. There is only one file that can be shared by multiple processors, multiple users. So that is a if there is any change, we can only change in the centralized file, in the one file that can be shared by multiple users. The next one is storage space duplication is eliminated. So whenever there is a storage space duplication, that is eliminated, so there is no duplicated data. There is only one data, that is non-redundant data, that is available within the database management system. The next one is data are stored once in the database and easily accessible when needed. So that means data are stored once in a database. That means once the data is entered in the database, that can be easily accessible whenever there is a requirement to the user, whenever there is a requirement to the organization, system analyst, anyone. So first one is the processing time is reduced, then sharing of the centralized files, then storage, yes, duplication is eliminated. The next one is once it is stored, it can be easily accessible whenever there is a demand, whenever there is a need. The two primary drawbacks of the database are the cost of the specialized personnel and the need to protect sensitive data from the unauthorized access. These are the two drawbacks of the database management systems. One is the security is very disabled in the case of the database, because there is no privacy among the database management system. And next one is the cost. So one is security, one is the high cost. And who are the primary users of the MIS? That are the top, middle, and the top level managements, operational managements, or managers and the support staff. And middle and the top management uses the MIS for preparing the forecast, for preparing a special report, for the analysis, long range plans, and the periodic reports. And whenever we are talking about the operational manager, that uses the MIS for the short range planning, periodic, and the exception reports. For the support staff, that finds the MIS useful for the special analysis of the information to help the management in planning and control. And today's typical MIS poses several problems. Most MIS reports are historical and tend to be dated. Another problem is that many installations have databases that are not in the line with the user's requirement. And finally, an inadequate or incomplete update of the database, it used for the reliability of the users. And next question arises, what is the main problem in the MIS design? The main problem is the interface with the system. That is, the interface of the MIS is totally different with the interface of the DSS and the DPS. And it is very difficult to accept the interface of the MIS. Personnels who perceive that their jobs are threatened may resist the implementation of the MIS. And in understanding both technology and the human behavior, the analyst faces the challenge of selling change to the right people for a successful installations. Next one is a DSS. That is also one of the part that is taken out by the top managements for the decision making. So whenever there is a decision making that is taken out by the top management, they use a system that is known as a DSS, and this is the advanced version of the MIS. So this advantage the capability of the MIS. It assists management in making the decisions. It is actually a continually evolving model that relies heavily on the operations research. So whenever there is an operation research we are using, so that is a MIS that is approaching the DSS that advances the capabilities of the MIS. Now, what is the meaning of the DSS? That is, what is the meaning of the decision then support system? Decision means emphasizes the decision making in the problem situations, not the information processing, retrieval, or reporting. That means decision means, but what is the method decision? If there is a scenario that occurs, there is a problem that occurs. So what is the main scenario? What is the main decision that is taken out in the problem situations? Then support, that requires a computer-aided decision conditions with enough structure to permit computer support. That means what are the various computer design or computer-aided design, what are the various computer-aided decision that is used with the enough structure to permit the customer support. So how to use the computer or how to use the IT in the decisions that is defined with the enough structure to permit the customer or computer support. The next one is a system that is the same. combination of the or collection of the interrelated components. So how to take the decision that is supported by the system, that is supported by the management level, that is known as a DSS. And the typical early definition requires an interactive computer-based system to help the users use the data in the models to solve the unstructured problems. And there are authors today who views the DSS as an extension of the MIS. That means DSS is the advanced version, advanced part, or we can say extension of the MIS, and it is an independent of the MIS right now, or MIS is a subset of the DSS. And the outcome is a system designed to serve all levels of the management, and the top management is particular that is defined what if unstructured problem situations. And the intelligent phase of the decision making involves awareness of a problem at a simple. Yes, there are three parts of the information system. One is MIS, one is a DSS, one is a DPS. And when we talk about the decision making, that involves awareness of a problem at the systematic level, that requires a closer look at the problem and a through evaluation of the variables and their relationships. DSS can also provide the intelligence through information retrieval and the statistical package. So when we talk about the DSS, that provides the intelligence through the information retrieval, how to retrieve the information, what are the various packages by which we can retrieve the information in the statistical packages. And during the design phase of the decision making, focus on the evaluation of the decision alternatives. So there are multiple alternatives that is available or that is used for the decisions. And during this phase, computer-based determinist or the stochastic models may be used for the decision or for the decision designs, and DSS plays a major role in decision making under the certain conditions. So what are the various conditions by which we can use a DSS? So during this phase, the computer base may be used for the decision making, for the decision design, and that plays a decision or decision design under the uncertainty. And the output of the models, that is also a basis of the choice phase of the decision making. Now, anyone can define what is the main difference between the DSS and the MIS. My question is, what is the main difference between the MIS and the DSS? Yes, DSS is used for the top level management, and the MIS is used for the middle level management or the department heads. This is the one point. And any other difference? Yes, DSS is used by the top management for the decision making, and MIS is used by the middle level management for issuing the memos. Yes. And when we talk about the MIS and the DSS, in every case we are using the computer-based department, we are using the computer-based information system. Now, let's move to the summary part. That is, what are the various terms that is used in the summary. So we have finished with the MIS, we have finished with the DSS and the DPS. Now, summary of this chapter is that a system, first of all, what is a system? That is a grouping of the interdependent components that link together according to some plan to achieve a specific objective. So whenever we group multiple components that are interlinked with each other to achieve an objective, that is known as a system. And what are the main characteristics? That is the organization, interaction, interdependence, integration, and a central objective. And to construct a system analyst must consider its elements. What are the elements? One is the input, processing, control, feedback, and the environment. And there are two types of systems we are defining, that is a physical or abstract, or open or closed. And system may be asymmetric, static, or dynamic. That may be open system that deals with the environment, that interacts with the environment, or a closed system that is very rare to find. That means there is no interaction with the environment. And the three levels of information that is also used in the environment, that is a part of the information system. One is a strategic information system for the long range planning processes and the upper management. That is also done by the DSS. Then managerial information system that helps the middle level and the department heads in operating in order to operate the business. Next one is a operational level that helps the daily information needed to operate the system. And the managerial information, that is the middle level management, is done by the or taken out by the MIS. And the last, that is the low level management, that is the operational information system, that is taken out by the DPS. And the future emphasis on the decision support system, not on the information processing. It requires a computer-aided environment and use a computer or a combined man and machine and decision environment. Now these are the questions. So first question is, what is a system, and explain with the examples. That is a grouping of the interlinked components that are linked together according to some plan to achieve some common objective. Next one is, what is man-made information system? So whenever the information system, or whenever any information system that is covered with the help of the human being, that is known as a man-made information system. Then feature, that is the characteristics of information. One is organization, that is a structure. Then different types of systems, that is a physical or abstract, open or closed, man-made. Now, next one is very important, that is a system leads to a lot of planning and the less of the implementation. Do you agree with this statement? Can anyone answer this question? That is, a system leads to a lot of the planning and the less of the implementation. That means whenever we are developing a system that needs a lot of the planning, that needs a high planning, but less of the implementation. So when the time arrives for the implementation, there is no requirement of the need. So a system leads to a lot of planning and less of the implementation.